We're going to talk straight in about a case, and we're going to get people kind of warmed up about the sort of thing that you do, you see, and how you work. And then from that, we're going to branch into more about drugs, but we will bounce back into the multimodal approach, which you guys all know about. So take it away. Tell us about a case that you've seen recently and what interventions were used for the results that you got.
Okay, I can actually tell you about a dog who is a staff dog. He belongs to one of my colleagues. He is an old boy. He's 13. He's got, not for an old boy, he's not got a huge number of comorbidities. He's got a heart murmur and a few other old dog things, but he's pretty well. But he was becoming in the summer to the point where the owners were thinking about making the decision because he was really, really struggling ambulation-wise. He'd apparently tried non-steroidals in the past and had been told that he wasn't tolerant to them and that they weren't an option. Anyway, he came to see one of my intern colleagues at work and who kind of came and spoke to me. And I said, well, you know, just because he's not been tolerant to one, he doesn't have a diagnosis of IBD. He hasn't got a true contraindication to a non-steroidal. Let's discuss it, make an informed decision, talk to the owners. And so we started him, just as it happens, on robenacoxib. And he actually made quite a marked improvement with that. But then knowing that we have the pain clinic here, they sent him down to the pain clinic so we could do a proper multidisciplinary assessments. And that, you know, these are for owners who are very invested, but it means an assessment with a physiotherapist and with one of the clinicians who's a member of the pain team. And actually, we also obviously go back to our own referring practitioners within Davies, so he may have come from orthopedics, for example. As it happened, one of the orthopedic residents had also had a look at him. Going forward, we decided that the non-steroidal had made a lot of effect, but maybe not quite enough. You know, he started to exhibit a lot of good behaviours that he'd lost. You know, he was rolling on his back. He was a happy dog. You know, bearing in mind they've been thinking about euthanasia, but between the physio and myself, we thought, well, you know, I think there's places to go here. So he's a really, really amenable dog. So we started looking at what other drugs might be appropriate to add in for him. The gabapentin have been discussed because he definitely has some LS pain. We hadn't MRI'd him, but we thought that, you know, definitely.
Tell people what LS pain is.
Sorry, lumbar-sacral pain. Sorry, that's the joint between the lumbar and sacral vertebra, and it's definitely a source of older dogs. It can be a source of quite severe pain, where you get pain which is what we call, can be neuropathic in flavour, if you like. There is a nervous structure involved in the type of pain, so it doesn't tend to respond quite as well as normal osteoarthritis does to a non-steroidal. So we felt that, you know, actually the longer he was on the non-steroidal, the better he was doing. And that's actually something that's a good take-home message. Because
take-home message number one, your first take-home message, go for it.
Yeah. Okay, the reason being that historically, and I was taught this, you know, if the dog's having a good day, don't give the drugs. If the dog's having a bad day, give the drugs, right? Put yourself a bit anthropomorphically in the dog situation. How does it know how it's going to feel the rest of the day, you know, if it's been on the beach or whatever? And there's also much more scientifically, if you continue to give those drugs, talk about non-steroidals in this situation, they will continue to decrease the amount of prostaglandin, and prostaglandin is very pro-inflammatory. And there's actually studies with robenacoxib carfentanil going out to 84 days, which is 12 weeks, showing a consistent and sustained improvement over that period of time. So we now say that you must give a non-steroidal a month as a minimum for looking for efficacy. Okay, well, tolerance is a different issue, but they need to be on for a month. If they're on for a week, you're not guaranteed to see an effect.
Let's stay here for a little bit. Let's just talk about something a little bit controversial. As a first opinion vet, I often start an owner on these medications, and I can see them a little bit worried. I can see them a little bit scared at the commitment, the financial commitment, what it could mean. Is this a drug forever? So when you're trying to persuade them for 4 weeks, you can see them kind of go, And a lot of vets feel that they have to break it down into smaller aliquots that they dispense first. And I can understand why vets do it, but we need to try and give owners the confidence that give that drug a chance to work. So I now always prescribe 4 weeks, and I go, 4 weeks, give me 4 weeks. So all you can for us, if you hear about people trying an anti-inflammatory from their vet for a week and it didn't make any difference, you know better. Do you agree?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think that there is often an expectation, and we can talk later if